TikTok stories and the sort of Solarpunk promotional stuff for Saba Cooperative. I'm also the founder. I started Saba Cooperative back in 2012 in New Hampshire with a group of inspired individuals that were active in incubating communities over a number of years back then. And then we kind of went our separate ways, went and did our different projects. I focused in a lot of clinical work. My background is psychotherapy, and I provided a lot of support for people that had addictions and were experiencing homelessness. So I did transitional living, housing, supportive housing, halfway houses in that realm for a number of years. And then I felt really like I was struggling in the clinical world because of ethical stuff. I just felt like it wasn't aligning with my ethics, the clinical aspects. There was a lot of issues that just didn't seem to be working effectively for the people I was trying to help, and I didn't want to keep participating in that. So I left the clinical world in 2017. I started traveling, doing workshops and hosting retreats. And similar to Campton, finding that there was a lot of work to be done, powerful work to be done using some of these more shamanic types of ancient plant medicines and things that can really help transform people's lives and help them heal. So I was doing that in private retreats for a while. I was in Jamaica doing that and just traveling, and in Mexico as well. So that went until COVID, right? So once COVID happened, everything changed. Couldn't continue doing that anymore. Everything kind of went into a reassessment of what I'm doing moving forward. And it just so happened a year ago, I was on TikTok and I saw another community that was putting in efforts towards doing something similar and had gotten drawn into that community, interacting with people there. That's where I met Campton. Realized after a period of time that it wasn't really perfectly aligned with my desires for what a community would look like that. So decided at that point that I really wanted to reform Saba. And so that's what I did. I reformed it, and Campton joined me, and we've been really re-envisioning for this sort of new decade what it looks like. And I feel like it's such a blessing that that term Solarpunk came onto the radar because it communicates so much in one word, and it's inspiring so much creative passion and optimism that is so much needed right now. So that's really what I'm trying to play into, creating these visions so that people can see and have this optimistic view of where we can go, that we don't have to be all doom and gloom looking at what exists now. We can really think about all the ways that we can actually personally take responsibility for making this solar punk future happen. And it's actually not that hard. If we each bring to the table what we have available, I think that we can actually make this happen without it being extremely difficult or needing a whole lot of excess of capitalists, venture capitalists or money investors. I mean, it's nice, but we can do it without them because we have people with land and we have people with skills and we have amazing, brilliant minds. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. And I feel so blessed. I feel so appreciative of the fact that I've aligned with all of you and everyone else that I've been communicating with that has these similar ideas, because I think we're gonna make it happen together. And that's exciting. I'm just excited. So thank you for being here. And now I just really want to listen to you all talk about, your vision, your dreams, like how can we collaborate? What are your ideas that we might have not even thought about? Just anything. So yeah, that's me.
Hi. Hi. Can I ask you some question?
Oh, me? Yeah, sure.
My English still not that good, but I try. How do you think can we build something like Solarpunk in European countries, not only in Solarpunk.
Yeah, that's the idea. We would love for this to be a global network. I mean, obviously, most of us are in the States, so that is what's happening is we're incubating a lot more communities in the US presently. But I would love to see Saba networked all throughout the world and having the ability for our participants to go wherever. And obviously, we're still restricted by visas and things currently, but to be able to communicate and to be able to share resources all across the world would be ideal when it comes to the solar punk future, at least in my perspective. Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Um, just like that, yeah, the resources and information, it can help you inspire those movements in your community. There might already be existing projects that you can lend your hands to over in the European countries. So yeah, that's pretty exciting as well.
Can I just ask, what's a good way? Is there ways for me to get involved, like dip my toes in without jumping all the way in? And what would that look like?
Oh, it depends. These spaces are pretty cool. You get to hear the voices from across the country, what they're doing. Any one of them could have an idea as how to do that. um, like personally researching skills that could add to communities or capitalizing on your own curiosities. Obviously, none of us want to just pick up from home and go, and live with a bunch of strangers we met the day prior. Definitely a curating process there. But yeah, I think hanging out with people of like minds, hearing their stories, what they're doing, would be a solid start. I don't know. Anybody else have any ideas or want to riff on that? I'm absolutely sure I missed something.
Um, well, what I have been trying to do is help people sort of on a one-on-one basis figure out how they best fit in. So we have applications on the website. We have a participant application, a homesteader application, and a makerspace application. And the participant application would just be anybody who's interested in getting involved with us at all. Ultimately, it would mean you're welcome at the homesteads once there's availability and occupancy open for you to go and participate. You would be welcome. But even beyond that, the application itself asks you to describe, what your interests are, like what your vision is, what your skill set is, even like the amount of time that you have available. And so when I get the application, I schedule a one-on-one conversation with the person where I say, all right, this is where we're at. This is what we have going on. These are the projects. I see you have this skill or that you have this interest. Would you like to participate in this way or that way? And it's really a very unique sort of discussion and negotiation with each person that comes through. And ideally, I would like to sort of streamline that and automate that at some point in the future. But I do find that there's value to having sort of some personal discernment involved with that as well. Because I have had to screen out people that were actually being dishonest and were dangerous in the process. So, yeah, we're trying to be cautious of that too. But yeah, the process would be if you wanted to, you could put in an application that just discusses you and what it is that you're interested in, and we could set up to discuss how you could participate.
Yeah, that actually sounds exactly like what I'm looking for. Some kind of next step to get me farther down the road without, yeah, like you said, quitting my job. Uh, so yeah, that sounds great. And that's just on the website, you said?
Yeah, on the website, join Saba, I think is what it is, or join us, and you'll see where there's three different links for the three different applications. And yeah, just participant will get that to me, and then once I have a chance to look over it, I can schedule you a time to talk about. I mean, we can even schedule it even now to talk about what it is that you might want to sort of offer and what we can do together.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely look for that.
Hello, can anyone hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, this is my first time using Discord. Just want to introduce myself. My name's Joe. Um, and I just have a question, and that's, has anyone heard of any good like Solarpunk events or other such things that maybe I could attend?
I think you've heard of Burning Man, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
I think a lot of those type type festivals around that time would be pretty good. I don't know. I haven't heard of anything specifically, but it's definitely something I want to get going. Like it would be
If I
cool
can,
to. Sure, go ahead.
there is something, I believe it's somewhere in Texas called the Solarpunk Summit, I believe, in October.
Cool.
So I didn't mean to cut you off there, Campton. I didn't realize
Oh,
you were
no worries. No,
still
you
speaking.
added. Definitely added. Yeah, I think it would be cool to even get those going because all it really is renting out a camping site, throwing a couple unique structures up on it, sort of like a silent, maybe slightly gray hat type thing, but yeah, definitely not enough of it out there. One of the core concepts again was doing like permanent Burning Man, which is essentially going to become what a bunch of these sites are out there. So yeah, just a cool thing I thought I'd mention alongside that.
So Shasta, I have a few questions for you, and I guess you too, Campton. You guys are is can you? I'm not sure.
What's up?
So, can you guys hear me? I'm not sure if I'm using
Oh
this
yeah,
correctly.
no, we got you.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys are incorporated as a nonprofit. What sorts of people are donating um to your nonprofit, or where are you getting your money?
Sure. So we're in sort of the primordial phase of monetization, but we have a few land projects that are donating their land based on sort of the fiscal generation there. So a lot of the donations are wrapped up in sort of the execution on these opportunities. So right now we're doing stuff like this, Solarpunk Sundays, where we're getting all together to throw around our skills and bind and things like that. But sort of the path to monetization would be these traveling gig work vehicles. Like some people want to donate their used car, turn it into a food truck service, like we were talking about, or dog grooming. And then the land into these pop-up shipping container homesteads that generate whatever, like an Etsy shop or anything, anything under the sun essentially there. So yeah, we're just on the precipice of that.
Yeah, I think what we're really looking at is that we don't necessarily need to have a lot of like monetary donors. Again, it would be nice if we did, but in my experience, in the time that I've been involved with Saba, there's very few people that want to just give money and just donate money for something. People really are looking for a way to get actively involved in an investment in some sort of way that's going to bring a return. So what we're looking at is that the people who are really making the biggest investments are the people that are the landowners. And they're either sharing the land for a period of time under contract with us, or they're trusting it to the cooperative or selling it to the cooperative. And the idea is that the money generated to support the community is going to come through the profitable ventures created on the land. So the biggest ones that I've seen beyond what Campton was talking about with the conversion vans and doing that and doing leasing of conversion vans, the Airbnb spots. So being able to, as a community, create some of these really like cool glamping spots in these rural spaces that people will pay, $300 a month to stay, or $300 a night, sorry, to stay in. And so the community can cooperatively operate that space and share a fair share of the profits associated with the people that are involved with it, and can continue to finance the different things involved with the community. So yeah, Airbnbs, conversion vans, anything involving events and workshops that can be done on the lands, and then every other really cool, brilliant idea that everybody has. It's like the opportunities are like endless as to what could be done.
Good. My thought when you were talking about that was that landowners tend to be like the boomer generation, the older generation. Um, could it be also because there's the hope is that when you start a community, you'll have everyone with every different skill. You'll have doctors, you'll have farmers, chefs, everything like that. Um, could also the idea of getting land be associated with um, like an older couple who owns a farmstead who's starting to reach that age where they're needing a medical assistance or support, and then like they could offer their land by signing up, and then they'd have a team of people essentially making sure that they have assistance and stuff like that. I don't know if that's something that they want to get into for legal reasons and stuff, but it sounds like it could be a way to encourage some of the older generation to participate.
So that's actually a really great idea because I've been dealing with something like that personally. We've have family members that are experiencing like Alzheimer's and dementia, and trying to provide care for these family members is extremely difficult, but the care system available to them is horrible. So really trying to figure it out. And I've thought so much that they need a community. They need a community of people that genuinely care to be sharing the responsibility of some of these little tasks day to day that are needed to keep them able to be healthy and to be well. And it's too much for just a small group of people to try to handle, two or three. And yeah, even the staff in these nursing homes are not enough to really give them what they need. So yeah, as long as there was some sort of fair and equitable exchange. We really want to try to avoid any situations where the people are being exploited, where they're coming to labor on somebody's land for them, because that's where things have historically just gone wrong. So yes, there would probably need to be something beyond just them living there that would be an incentive for them to also labor at the caretaking parts of it. But yes, I could see how there could be negotiations around fair share in that happening.
Question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Cool. I'm wondering, are we kind of co-working with the indigenous folks of the land?
I definitely. So there was this project that I was working with in the past, and this is definitely sounding like something that they want to do, and I believe it's part of some a prophecy, like the fifth fire prophecy or something like that, where we do start to sort of transition the land back into their hands. So yeah, I think definitely that's on the road.
Well, because there is the Indian collective, but then there's a lot of indigenous folks who are not registered by the, who aren't recognized by the federal government, and they've been really getting shafted for a long time.
I don't know much about it.
Yeah, I'm totally in support of getting the control of lands into the hands of peaceful peoples
Yeah.
that can use a decentralized system for deciding control over it. Like, no matter what those peoples are, and yes, absolutely, the indigenous people, I think, have a culture and a way that is much more conducive to what we're doing than what we're used to in the normal American society. And a lot of the permaculture principles that we rely upon are rooted in a lot of the ideas that were given to us by the indigenous peoples of the lands. So I think that being able to sort of merge and meld, and our New Mexico property is like right in very close to reservation area, the Zuni. So that it's like really, really immersed in the indigenous culture in New Mexico. We're going to be seeing a lot of that, and I would love to nurture more of that there too.
Awesome. And I just wanted to say, well, Campton and Shasta, we have similar backgrounds in a lot of things. I felt I could relate to you both pretty well. Childhood wasn't much of a childhood. School kids weren't very kind. I moved into, I grew up, studied more philosophy than religion because spirituality then just didn't really seem to fit. Um, Started working in the nonprofit sector for homeless women in San Francisco and realized early on that the system itself was sick. And it didn't really align very well with me there because there was no focus on healing the root of the issue. So it was just everyone was just running these cycles. I haven't done workshops yet, but I would love to definitely um, chat about how the system was designed uh, and figure out new ways around it with anyone who's open.
Definitely, that sounds awesome.
When 2020 hit, there was part of me that was like, okay, I'm ready for this because the systems I was watching these systems crumble because they were, the medical industrial complex is not really designed to heal you. The uh, So I was watching all these systems crumble, and I went on a trip. I for 2 years kind of looking for other people to do something like this with. So I don't know. I'm rambling. I'm really excited this is happening, and I'm honored to be a part of it.
It's an honor to have you here. Yeah, I think we all have been sort of craving this sort of thing, so I'm equally as excited.
Hi,
I was gonna.
oh,
Sorry.
go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm also excited to be here. I especially wanted to talk about, I don't know when we're going to get to it, but I wanted to hear everyone's ideas about a sort of decentralized app where we can sort of make decisions and form communities and then like sort of gamify all of the little things that we do to sort of like track our value and like how maybe technology plays a role in creating communities and acting as the sort of non-biased structure for them.
1000%.
That's kind of the reason why I'm on here. Is that's what I enjoy brainstorming about, and I've stumbled upon the TikTok channel, and the app structure, whether or not it's decentralized or not. But that was what I was kind of alluding to. The same thing, like what kind of app designs would be good to make it easier for people to get in and structure how it operates and all that kind of stuff. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, and what's cool is I think out there already there are a few projects on TikTok who sort of have a puzzle piece to this. So there's already litter map, which is essentially a bunch of places where there's litter, and you can set a beacon and it'll recruit people in the nearby area to go pick up a beach or whatever. And it doesn't yet have a leaderboard, a one-to-one coin, like a social media presence, or where the community can collab. So essentially, the idea there would be like Twitter plus Craigslist meets Pokemon Go, where you can just see a map full of these job opportunities, and you yourself are vetted by ambassadors or however we vote that in to sort of a pseudo decentralized type of thing, because I think a brand presence helps get the message out, and then it's basically up to the idea to work itself out, which anybody can replicate. So things like litter map, things like these verified badges, a leaderboard with a one-to-one currency, which is essentially something not backed by the dollar, which I think the benefit there is the psychological concept of it. It's built into us to be sort of quote competitive as human beings. That actually multiplies us, because that's why dogs fight with each other, to keep their senses and instincts heightened. So throw a bunch of us in a community like that, and you can get it going. And I think what's cool, just to cap that thought off, to hear everybody else's thoughts, is that this app can be created by a 12-year-old. I think it just takes motivation and consistency and optimism. We can get together to immediately create these systems. So we can all be beacons of putting that idea out into the culture sphere. Sorry, someone wanted to say something? I think I cut somebody off at the end there.
So I have a question about the idea of having a centralized currency or a token system or whatever it may be, in giving value to that token system. I know there's a lot of legalities around, like, I don't know, just an example would be like food prep. Like say I go and I pick up some trash and I earn 10, tokens, and then I'm like, oh man, I really want a hot cup of coffee, and I can go over to so and so's house who's part of the app, and they make me a hot cup of coffee for 5 tokens or something. I don't know. Is that kind of the system that you're thinking would be how it would work, or is it different?
Yeah, I think that's definitely a facet of it. I think that sort of might be a baseline feature or functionality, and then you can have things like Mr. Beast or an angel investor who can dump $50,000 into a beach project, and everybody might actually earn coin off of that, or the 50,000 can go to supporting the one-to-one coin. So I think there's a lot of options, and I think that there might be a lot of apps. I don't think it's going to be one central app, but yeah, that's definitely part of it.
Found this new app called Buy Nothing. It seems very interesting. It definitely needs a lot of work though. It's very glitchy.
Hadn't heard of, what's it called?
It's just called Buy Nothing. Yeah, so it's mostly just like it's like trade based and like gifting based. Like people like say you want to give away a free couch or something like that. You just pop it on the marketplace or something, and someone might get back to you.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was that plays into another one of the ideas for this. Another part of the app is called Guerrilla Gigs, GUERILLA. So it's like seed bombing or the litter stuff, or even renting U-Hauls and on bulk week throughout these neighborhoods, going out and getting all the free furniture and rehabilitate or refurbishing it, and then putting it on a marketplace like that, just to create these jobs out of thin air. So I think that should be part of it as well.
I'm here for that.
Right?
Definitely can't be a cashier anymore.
Yeah, I feel you. So again, everyone, sort of talking stick style. If anyone wants to bring a topic into the air, or just tell us about you, or go on some riff or story, that it's fully you.
Yeah, I'd be happy to.
Sure.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I've already spoken.
Right on. Yeah, just to introduce myself so folks know what I'm into, and we can see if there's potential for collaboration there. As part of my own journey here was having this interest in the environment and environmental restoration in particular, and this whole eco village type concept similar to what y'all are doing here. And I noticed that in situations where I'd see projects pop up, I had really no interest in them, and I kind of was interested what in this apparent internal hypocrisy was. And I think the conclusion that I came to for myself is that I personally felt without changing the kind of fundamental relationship to the environment, is that I could potentially just come moving, which we've all done that before. It's not necessarily the most fun or beneficial. So it's to summarize all that, I've kind of personally shifted my focus lately into regenerative landscape design, permaculture, and more specifically, if nothing else, water. Because I personally believe that water management, and for a group to be able to control their local watershed and maximize that resource is foundational to any sort of freedom, of any sort of self-sufficiency, certainly to any sort of like landscape regeneration, especially where I'm at in Southern California and Nevada, primarily. And I got really inspired by seeing examples in India and Arizona, where people have like completely revitalized landscapes and transformed the area, and like increased like recharged wells that had gone dry, easier generation of food and wealth with less labor input, and all these things just by managing that one resource. And so that's my whole project. I've bought a little piece of land, and I'm implementing some of those basic principles of design into it, because I think if it does work as well as it appears to, it would be really cool if it was so easy that just some fucking guy with a shovel could do it. That's all I had there. Just really just wanted to focus on landscape regeneration and working with folks that are looking to do either homesteads or this village kind of build out of how to manage water within their watershed so that they are not reliant on any sort of external structures.
That's also what I'm working on, but I'm on the other side of the country. I'm out in Maine. It's quite chilly though.
It's a whole different toast of issues out there. At least it seems.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on a well, and I think I don't think anyone else is on my the well that I'm on, because I'm just out in the middle of nowhere.
I think that when it comes to water management, it's for me, I have no idea what water management involves, like the steps involved or the breakdown of process or what needs to be done. I think the key to coming up with a good water management system would be to kind of break it down into steps that would help. Something that you wouldn't need to be present. That the person who understands water management wouldn't need to be present, because it would just be intuitive. You do this, you hit this button, do this, whatever, I don't know, move this bucket here, kind of thing. A lot more complicated than that. But I think that's going to be kind of the key. That would be kind of the key to get all of these systems and processes, that you can just, open a toolkit and then suddenly you have the roadmap you need to get these things started.
Yeah, thank you for that. I like that input. I do like the idea of simplifying those concepts as much as possible so that it becomes something that is easily accessible by the average person.
I find it really exciting to think about what the advancement of technology is going to lead to when it comes to certain things that we haven't even begun to think of yet. Because I know that we were looking at starting up a project in the Nevada desert, and so obviously very concerned about water. And one of the things that we really got into focusing on was the hydro panels, and that we have technology already, just using like basic like dehumidifier technology to be able to pull water from the air if there's enough humidity in the air. And even just with the basic technology that we have right now, we can do that. So thinking about in time, sort of this solar punk idea of what the future could be as our technology advances, that when it comes to things like that, we could very well have technology that just allows us to really kind of easily pull water from the air, so we don't have to drain from our streams or our rivers, or if in areas where we don't have the ability to access natural sources, we can use those things. And it's just exciting to think about even the challenges that we have now, they could be completely eliminated in the future because of technology.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. Definitely a lot of those hidden Galileos out there who all have a piece of this already figured out. They might not have just high fived yet. So definitely excited for that. I can meet you there.
One thing that I think is really awesome about the Saba cooperative TikTok, at least, which is the only way I know about y'all, but I really like that it tells stories, because stories are how people get ideas and gain sort of like cooperative collective understanding of like ideas, so stories about, you know I don't know, permaculture and little farmsteads and all the stuff like y'all have on the TikTok. It really inspires people, who might come in and add energy in one form or another. And as far as getting from having, like for me, sitting where I am here with my life and the real world, to living my solar punk dreams, I think stories are a big part of how that happens.
Absolutely. Beautifully said.
And they're so fun to make too. If any of you are interested or have ideas, it can be really easy too. Because I'm creative. I love to write, and I like to write poetry. But I also don't have the time to be able to do everything that I've been doing for this Alba page, like creatively. So I've been using ChatGPT for pretty much all of them. But I give it like a really good solid plot. I tell it the story I want it to tell, but it gives all the detail. And so I just have to read it. And it's been great. Same thing with Midjourney AI. We have the bot in the server. So if any of you that actually have visions like this that could put them into words and create stuff that want to contribute to the Saba stories, like use our prompts, use ChatGPT, give me your stories, give me your pictures that you create using the AI, and I'll put it out there. I want to create as many as possible.
Yeah, I really would like to contribute some ideas and bits of stories I've written too, and I think there's probably other people even here in this Discord that have stories and ideas that they've got hidden away somewhere that they would like to share, that are solar punk and might inspire others to action.
Yeah, absolutely. We thrive on one of the core concepts that the community is the content. The community is the podcast. So everyone's I lost the word. Anyone can do it. How about that? We would love to have you.
Yeah, Shasta, I just found your TikTok. That is the videos you've been making are really cool. So well done on that, and thank you for doing all that work.
Yeah, I enjoy it, and it's been a good opportunity for me to really put in a more real way all of the different thoughts that have been going through my mind, all these different discussions that we've been having for so long. I feel like it's given me the opportunity to make it even more real, which has been really fun for me. So your appreciation is appreciated, but I'm doing it for the pleasure as well.
I was just thinking about how maybe some areas, some homesteads are abundant in one thing and they don't have another. Is there like an internalized like caravan trucking system in the ether?
That could be cool. Yeah, I think that's a system that would work. Sort of these Saba ambassadors, or these Saba like, or not even Saba, but just these open gig work type jobs. I can see a network like that coming up instantly. You know, you could have an app per city, an app per county, a countrywide app, a way to make it happen. It could even be in like an automated Telegram group or Discord. Hey, I've got a bunch of apples, and then somebody can reply to that. Hey, I've got a chicken, and it would work almost like, I guess, original bartering, whatever that means. How we used to do it. Opportunity for service, yeah. So definitely great idea.
Because it just occurred to me, because some air, it's the water, was it the humidifier? That's a great idea, pulling moisture out of the air, but it's, like you mentioned, areas in Nevada are pretty dry. So it would, and water is important, right? Water is life. So to be able to transport just other things. I know there's like a huge mushroom farm in down by the Pacific in California. So, pick up, trade mushrooms and such as well.
If you get my thought when I came up with my idea. I had an idea a long time ago for something like this. My friend was like, it was like a commune app or whatever. And my thought was that you have this overarching app, and then you belong to a commune. To be part of the commune, you apply for a job, and then each of the communes would have their own representation, and would act as their own entities when it comes to like communicating with each other. So bartering, as was stated earlier, and because it's all under one umbrella, though, I mean, there would be a sense of, if one community needs something, they wouldn't necessarily have to contribute back as like a one-to-one thing, because then we're just back into capitalism again. But
No, I agree with that. I agree with. I
Yeah.
wasn't trying to say you don't get water unless we get cactus. But I was just there's a lot of things to like pick up and drop off just down California alone, because California's a beast. It's huge.
Yeah. Yeah, my thought is, especially with this new AI development, that a lot of these like systems and whatnot may not even have to be managed by people. I mean, you could have like if you have systems that keep track of inventory, keep track of what everybody has and what everybody needs. You could have an AI system that could negotiate between different communities and figure out, this community has this community has this community has this, and then have it kind of just divide everything amongst. I've been using the ChatGPT for programming and use cases that seem illogical. I copied and pasted my medical chart into it just for fun, and it diagnosed what my doctors diagnosed. And so I think if we can allocate it properly, you could use it for a lot of things that just seem kind of they seem like you would need to structure it manually, or come up with systems manually, but maybe it could cover some of it. I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of rambling now.
Pick out this app. I haven't used it yet.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that it can do, such as like, if everyone was to put in a request for, like, say everyone lives in a community, and there's a request for a particular type of baked goods. Say everybody wants French bread or something. Then that community could put in a request. The AI could easily break it down into the number of ingredients that you need, the number of people, how much each person is going to consume for a month or something like that. That's the kind of thing that you can just ask it to do. And then with that, then it would create an order for the community, and then the community could then put that order on the community marketplace or something like that, and then another community could fill that order. Like those kind of things, if those could be automated, you could take a lot of the human labor out of it, which I feel like is essential to get anything like this off the ground, for a long-term stability sense. Because if somebody's handling the complex tasks and stressing themselves out, they're gonna they're going to want more compensation, kind of thing. And if we're moving away from capitalist kind of system more into like a socialist or system, then it would be or communist or whatever. Then it would be you can't have people wanting more than somebody else, and essentially, if you get your needs met, you should be good, kind of thing.
That makes sense. How do we determine what the human needs are that are met, though?
My thought would be it would be community based. I mean, right now there's only a few different pieces of land, but my thought is that you'd get on the app and you'd be like, I'm getting tired of this community. I'm not getting along with Bill or whoever lives here. I'm gonna go find a new job and a new place to live. You get on the app, you look through the job listings for all the different communities. Each community would offer a different level of amenities. Maybe there's a beachside community, but you have to work your ass off in it. Maybe there's a place that just has overcast weather and not any entertainment, and all the food is oatmeal, but you only have to work 1 hour a week. And then, some people would find that enjoyable. So my thought is that you would just hop to whichever community that suits your style of living. If you want to live in luxury, you could, but you're gonna have to either have saved up a lot of labor, or you're gonna have to pay that labor when you get there. That's what I would think. I'm not part of this Solarpunk thing, so I'm not saying what is the way it actually is. Just an idea.
No, it seems like you're describing our vision really well, just differently. Because we look at it like if you were to show up on a piece of land and be completely self-sustaining, you don't actually have anything that you're going to take from the community. You're just going to park in a spot. You're not going to use any of their utilities. You're not going to use any of their amenities or luxuries or whatever. Then you're just there. We're not going to send anybody there that's just going to plan to do that, but that's just what that is. Now, if you have the desire to partake, right, in any of those luxurious things that could be offered in the community, if you're going to eat all of their great food, if you're going to use the different things that have been built by other people, then there would be some agreements to be made around equitable, fair exchange, right, whatever that might be.
Yeah, that makes sense. My original vision was that, well, a long time ago, was that it would be like you're entering a contract into the specific communities, just to keep it separate, because people with differing visions living side by side, then you have to keep track of it all. It seems like a lot more to track than if you just are like, I'm going to go live with these people who eat oatmeal and take shrooms all day. which sounds nice, but that would be, and that community would have no problem with somebody coming in as and doing that. But then I guess each community would have to vet the people that come in and stuff like that too.
Well, we're doing the vetting on, at least I'm screening, not necessarily vetting, but screening on the SABA end before anyone gets the stamp of approval to go anywhere involving our projects or to be actively involved with anything. So, I would like to automate that at some point in the future, but I don't know if you were here and when I was explaining that in the past, I've actually, through the interview process, realized that there were predators that were coming in, lying on applications that I kind of caught, because they put up a red flag in my mind. And I ended up digging and finding out, just got out of prison, abducted numerous children, so I'm hesitant to automate that system too much where it's taking out human discernment to be able to sort of screen out people that might not actually be legitimately who they say they are. And but yeah, beyond that, I would love to leave it up to, right, the individual decisions of the individual people who have their projects going on their lands and the people that are going to it to decide what would be fair exchange for what the person is taking versus what they're contributing, and as well as what profitable ventures they're bringing into the land, like how they're profiting off of being there.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. Yeah, people unfortunately, some people would be there just to take and not participate. Yeah, sounds cool. I don't know how to organize that into an app, but that would be what I would want to think about.
I
Sure,
agree.
the gut instinct is still amazing and on point.
I honestly really don't care about profit. I just want to help people.
Definitely, definitely. And I think that this theoretical app, we can call it, I don't know, the theoretical app, but definitely not automating that process, but it would have tiers. So this person is just an ambassador, just does litter pickup, small gig jobs, and then to get to the second tier, we would have to, well, there would have to be some kind of committee behind that to do the vetting in sort of a public way, or even just a way that everyone sees who's entering the app. Well, you might have to send a video or whatever of you, or some other way to do that to limit, I guess, the human labor aspect of it, and not lose the autonomy of it. So definitely some great points in the air.
So in I've in my version of the app that came to me, basically instead of having people create new communities in new places and build entirely new, I guess, cities or something, then people would just sign up and you would be automatically put in a community with the people close that live closest to you. And then from there you can communicate and organize which tasks everybody collectively decides to do, and then also just connect resources within where people are already living right now. Because like then as you move around, and obviously people still need food, water, shelter, and right now like if 100 people wanted to go to like these lands, I'm guessing there's probably not housing and resources for more than like a small startup crew at first, whereas a lot more people can get involved with an app that uh I don't know. I don't know if I'm hitting any points here.
I really like
Um,
that idea. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, well, I just wanted to respond to clarify that we do have raw land, but a number of our current discussions, we've got a number of pieces of land in different states that we just haven't formally, started to promote, but they're just in discussion that they would be happening over, 6 months, a year from now. Um, and a lot of them are already built. They have number of structures on them. They have gardens already growing. Some of them already have communities operating on them. And my goal is in the future to reach out through like intentionalcommunities.org, IC.org, to some of those forming communities or reforming communities and network them as well. So it isn't just about starting fresh on raw land. It's about actually networking all of these already existing communities too.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool.
I was gonna say that the idea of that vision of the app sounds like a great way of automating the vetting process, or the not vetting process, but the qualification process or whatever. Doing simple tasks and community projects, and then you earn the trust of the community, and then you can choose after that, be like, oh, you've earned the ability to move to an intentional colony.
Yeah, that's pretty solid.
Yeah, and also I want to. I mean, part of what's really helped me kind of, I guess for many years I wasn't able to find something for me to go to, or to join, or to like totally transform my life. And so I've been focusing a lot, especially in recent years, in what I can do in my day-to-day life, I guess right now, to make where I'm at now more solar punk. And whatever that means. And like I think about all the people who maybe, I mean, like for example, where I work at a ski resort. I'm sitting at a ski resort right now where I stay in the employee housing. I don't think more than, maybe 1 or 2% even know what solar punk is or have any interest in a solar punk community or lifestyle, but might be interested in installing some garden beds or some like when it's framed like that, or some I guess I want it to be accessible to the masses.
Or like
Can I raise?
I'm sorry.
Can I raise my hand here?
Yeah.
I'm new. This is my first Discord. My
Yeah,
name is Mason. I'm out of Piedmont, Alabama, so northern Alabama. And man, I just came across you guys' TikTok page. I've just started a campaign on there, and very interested, man. I feel like this is something I've been manifesting for quite some time, so I'm very excited. What he was just talking about, I didn't get your name, brother, but is something that we've been very interested in as well. Is one, the formation of these communities like you guys are already doing, and solidifying a means so that we can comfortably go into existing communities and towns and cities and implement a lot of these technologies that we're maybe not discovering but implementing in a way that can aid people in towns, townships, in stepping away from these conglomerates, these mega industry corporations that are providing electric and water and things like that. So I feel like implementing both sides would be very important. But the first step is creating that solid foundation and a complete understanding of what has to be encapsulated in, say, a single home on a street, and how we can integrate all of them eventually. Yeah, man, I'm loving it. I'm happy to be here, but I'm looking forward to what you guys have to say and what we can create here.
Yeah, I was just thinking with the idea of incorporating into the community. I mean, you could even have like just somebody who's got a garage they're not using could be used to store equipment that's been donated to the the group, and then anytime anybody needs a weed whacker or something like that, they would go check it out,
Absolutely.
kind of like a library system, and that would
Yeah,
be kind of
man.
like the first steps because that's super easy to implement.
Absolutely. That's exactly something that we've been discussing. There could be a multitude of different things: materials, tools, clothing, even like a food, library. There's a lot of things that go unused here. Everywhere. Vehicles, all kinds of different things that we can put together for the people.
Can I say?
Sure.
Perhaps you let's have an opportunity to communicate in your land with people with the same views, because I'm from North Russian-speaking country, and there's literally nobody who knows about cyber. Ой, господи, sorry, Solarpunk and its ideas, and it's so sad to me. And I happy to be there too.
Are you saying I could not understand you very well? Is what you said?
Sorry.
I just want to clarify. I think I got the gist of it. Were you saying that it's
sorry.
that many
Sorry,
people
but-
in your where you're from, or you said Russian speaking country? I heard that they don't know about the solar punk ideas. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. And that you're happy to be here with us talking about solar punk. Where are you from?
I
Or what are you referring to? Which countries?
I don't want to talk about it
Okay,
for now.
that's fine. I
But
was just curious. We're working here at the ski resort. It's really interesting because there a lot of my coworkers are from well, mainly Argentina, Peru, and um in Chile and Paraguay and South America, Brazil
oh,
also. But it's interesting to hear other people's ideas surrounding sustainability and also just things that other countries are already doing that are solar punk, you know? Also just around the world in general, like how many of these little projects uh that all together are more than a little movement.
Beautifully said. All right, guys.
So
Well, we're hitting that top of the hour usual time frame. So if anyone else wanted to, if they haven't spoken before, they wanted to bring something in the air, or we can cover it, or whatever. What do you think, Shasta?
I don't have anything else specifically I was wanting to talk about. I don't know if we. Yeah, wait. I don't know if we heard from Zeb, or maybe I missed it. I don't know if Zeb, you wanted to say anything. Yeah, if not, I'm fine with uh, calling it an evening, and at least for this Sunday. But yeah, welcoming everybody to come back next Sunday for more chats and collaboration. Or looks like we got somebody new too, so hang out.
I completely misread the time. I'm hopping on at the end of it.
I just solidified some plans. I'm going to be leaving here in where I'm at now in Arizona, somewhere around beginning of March, sometime either on or shortly thereafter, the 10th of March, and I'm going to be heading towards Minnesota, but I haven't decided on a route. So I'd be interested in taking a look at the land in New Mexico and seeing what kind of potential it had.
Yeah, that sounds great. I can give you the GPS coordinates in the Dow chat. And yeah, whenever she has welcomed us, at least Dow members initially, to go whenever we feel like it. And I think I told you that she does plan on trusting that land to the Dow, so that will be Saba Cooperative's land specifically. Yeah,
Oh,
whenever.
that'd be great. Yeah, yeah. For us, the group to actually, have control of some land and actually show people that we are a working concern.
Absolutely. I know for myself, excuse me, going to be traveling all over the country with these little pop-up caravans and little mini troops, tribes on the road, the nomads, hopping between these projects, seeing what we can do. And yeah, I guess being like this one idea I had, just to awkwardly transition to that, but instead of an ice cream truck with the music going in the neighborhoods, maybe a farmer's market truck or an apprenticeship truck who actively goes out and finds these people. Because for myself, when I was going through my decade-long depression, I was just at home, but I would have loved to just walk outside or get a knock on my door. Hey, there's this opportunity. There's this education that you never knew about, and you don't have to really pay anything except your attention, your knowledge, your curiosity, your love, your kindness, and then that gives it back to you. So definitely some really, really cool ideas to play with traveling across the country. So yeah, definitely excited to meet you guys and all that. So yeah, it's really cool that we have that initial land project. And just a note on that, guys, this came from just making one video on TikTok, and I'm just some random and we're just some random people, but specifically myself, I'm just some random suburban kid who wants to do these things, and just randomly made a couple TikToks and networked with all these people. So you yourself, if you want to start one of these things, can say, hey, I've got this skill. Hey, I know a bunch of people with skill. We're looking for land. We're doing that, and that's permanently out there as a net that you've cast to reel in some opportunities. So it really is accessible for anyone, and that's my favorite part. So unless anyone wanted to go, that's where I'm going to cap the recording at least, and maybe cap off that event. And if anyone wants that the after party chat, we can all hang out in the group lounge if we want. So yeah, I myself have to pop out of here, but I guess we could stay in here, or you guys could stay in here. But yeah, that's it for me.
I can hang out for a little bit if anybody else has more questions or wants to chat.
I just want to say thanks everyone so much. Like, I'm really blown away that this group exists.